podcast, and today I am super excited because I am starting the Organize Now Challenge with you. Woohoo! The first one that we are doing with the 29-Minute Mom, and I am wanting you to get super excited with me because this is not just going to be another thing on your to-do list. I want you to realize that this will be life-changing if you stick with me, I promise. And how do I know this? Because I have been helping people get organized for years. And the one reason why I love my job is not because I'm OCD, you may be surprised, but it is because when I work with people and they finally truly understand the blessings that come with getting organized, and more importantly, the blessings they can be to other people once their clutter is not running the show in their life, and that actually frees up their time. So I am pumped. You see what I want you to reach your full potential, and you can't reach your full potential on this earth, I don't believe, unless you have control of the clutter and you're organized. And remember, I said your full potential. Because sure, you can be successful, reach goals, make money. You can buy lots of stuff if you're not organized, but you can do so much more on this earth if you just clear the clutter, both externally and internally, which we will get to. But cutting down on what you own, creating systems and homes for the things you love and use, and really getting good at using your time can literally take you to a whole nother level, potential that you don't even realize right now that you have. So I could go on and on about how this challenge is going to change your life, but it will be, I'll save a lot of that for the upcoming weeks when we talk about individual spaces and areas of your life. I encourage you not to give up. Please stick with me. An organized home does not happen overnight. It takes one small, tiny step at a time. Most of us don't have all day to get organized, but we can, from here on out, dedicate some time in our schedule, anywhere from 29 minutes up into an hour, whatever you can do. Set a timer and stick with it. Schedule that in your planner so that you don't cancel this time for something else, and really just give it a try. Stick with me for the next 12 weeks. This particular challenge is going to be 12 weeks long. So just imagine what we can do together in 12 weeks. Come on. You could cover 12 different areas of your life that are aggravating you right now. And at the end of this, which would be, in 12, I'm not going to say the month because everybody's going to start this at a different time, but 12 weeks from now, just imagine what you could have accomplished and how good you'll feel. So stick with me. It's going to be fun. We're going to give you lots of encouragement. There's going to be accountability. And if you don't already have the book is called Organize Now, a week-by-week guide to simplify your space in your life. Now, if you are looking at the books and you still didn't get one, it's the one with the orange cover, but you can also use the one with the green cover. The green cover is my book. That was my very, very first book. And then the orange cover was just a revised edition of that book. So either one will work. And in the book, it just gives you checklists that you can use to follow along so that you can mark off everything you're accomplishing. You can write down notes. You can get tips, extra tips that I'm not going to have time to cover in the podcast. And you can also go to the last page of the chapter, which is called Stay Organized. And that's where I give you tips for once a month, every 3 to 6 months, and every year in order to keep that area of your home maintained, which is the key word here, is maintenance. So without further ado, today we are going to kick off this challenge with the kitchen, and it's going to be a 2-part series for the kitchen this week and next week. But this week we're going to specifically cover all of the surface areas in your kitchen, the areas that are the most visible. And if you aren't excited to get your kitchen organized, I'm going to give you 2 main reasons why your kitchen needs to be organized. Number 1, this is the area of your home that the most people see. It's usually a big place for entertainment, family meetings, gathering, meals, all sorts of stuff, but it is the area that the most people see. Not everybody comes into your home and walks into your, master bedroom closet or even your master bedroom, but they do see your kitchen. And it's the kitchen or the room that is actually, honestly, the most important, because it requires us to make meals that provide nutrition for our family. And it's super, super important. Usually it's kind of sometimes even a dumping ground. So a lot of things move through the kitchen, but that's why it's so, so important to make sure that it's clean, organized, simplified, and that everything you own in the kitchen has a home. So, like I said, we're starting with the surface areas. In the book, it would be week 22. And we're going to begin with countertops. So I want you to look around your countertops and just kind of notice how you feel when you look at them. Are you aggravated? Are you overwhelmed? Are you frustrated because your kids left their cereal bowls out, or their homework, or your husband threw the mail all over the place, or maybe you threw the mail all over the place? But when you look at the countertops, do you feel just a negative emotion? And that right there is your signal that something has to change, and it can change. And when I go through these steps with you, I want you to do me a favor and just try to push yourself to make it even simpler than you think you can, almost as an experiment, because you can always add things back to a clean surface, but I want you to just see how, for maybe even a week at the least, see how you feel if you made your kitchen really simplified the surface areas and clean and easy to pick up and easy to maintain. I want you to try it. And like I said, if it's not comfortable for you after a week, we can certainly go backwards. But really this week, when I give you these pointers, I want you to push yourself to make it even simpler than you can even imagine. So countertops, when you look around, you may have forgotten actually the main reason for your countertops, which is to prepare meals and serve food. Not an office for your paperwork, and not a space to host a garage sale. Does your countertops look like you're going to host a garage sale this weekend? That's a sign that it's time to get organized. So I want you to look at the countertops, and I want you to remove anything that is not included in baking, cooking, or serving food. Now, you just pick it up, put it in a pile, remove it from the countertops, put it on the kitchen table, put it on the floor. It doesn't matter right now. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to remove every appliance that you do not use at least twice a week. Now, this is a good one, because I know a lot of you have all sorts of gadgets, and you probably have heard me say this before, and we'll get into this later in the cupboards, but just because you use it doesn't mean it has to stay out on the countertops all week long. So let's cut back to the appliances that you only use twice a week or more. So I'm going to go ahead and guess it's probably your coffee machine, your Keurig, your coffee pot, maybe a toaster that your kids or you use every day, maybe a toaster oven, maybe it is some sort of machine that you use for smoothies in the morning. But it's funny, because even that, I make a smoothie every single morning, and I use the Bullet. And why I love the Bullet, first of all, it's super small, but I just make my smoothie, and then I put the machine right back into the cupboard. And the reason why I can do that is because I specifically chose a cupboard that was low to the countertops and right near where I plugged the machine in. And it's the part of the cupboard is designated only to this appliance. So it's super easy for me to put it back. Now, if I had to move 15 things out of the way and shove it way in the back of the corner of a cupboard, I wouldn't do that. So the key right now is to make it super easy. And if it's something that you use even daily, you could find room in your cupboard. But, I want you to clear those countertops. Not 100%. But I want you to shoot for probably, let's say, only 25% of the countertops is covered with something 24 hours. Because that frees up the space for the cooking, for the entertaining, the setting food out, the baking, all the other things that we need to do. The kids' homework. A lot of people I know do their kids' homework at the kitchen countertop. I know my kids do. So you want room for all those things. You want room to be living. And the more things on the countertop, the more aggravating it is to make room when you have to actually get something done. It's also harder to clean, and it just looks cluttered. So let's really push ourselves here and figure out what kind of appliances we do not use more than twice week, at least twice a week, I should say. And also anything that isn't supposed to be here in this space, anything that's not included with the kitchen. So there may be all sorts of little things left behind. Grab a basket and put all those things that belong in another space in the home in the basket. So this is one of the things I like to do because when I'm organizing, I'm focusing just on that area. I'm not looking to go run around my house now for 2 hours and put things away. I'm looking at getting this project done. So I think it's super easy to just grab things that don't belong in the area and put them in a basket. You can grab a laundry basket. That's super easy. Throw everything in there that doesn't belong. You can put it away later. If we don't have space in homes for those things currently, we will get to that point. But it's still super important not to just leave it out because you don't know where to put it. Put it away in the basket, and then we want to move on. So go ahead, look for anything that's garbage or anything that is laying out that's broken and immediately toss it. It's not worth it. So if there's just little get things, toys laying around, or okay, I had this laying on my countertop for like 3 years and it's full of dust and it just doesn't work right, get rid of it. Today's the day. And then we want to move on into paper. Okay, so I'm not gonna say you shouldn't have paper in your kitchen, but I am going to say that you need to give paper a home. So maybe you come in the house and you dump the mail on the countertop, or the kids dump their backpacks on the countertop and there's paper from school. That's fine, but the biggest thing is we don't want to just let paper take over the entire kitchen. And I've seen this in so many houses where there's paper tucked behind the canisters, and there's paper tucked behind the appliances, and there's papers on the counter, and then there's piles of paper. That's fine. I realize that this is the first stop usually for paper, but I want you to come up with some sort of container. So I would suggest a shallow basket or shallow tray or shallow box. And I keep saying shallow because this is a visual limit. So when the basket starts to become overflowed, you have to move the paper on to the next permanent space. This is just a temporary home. Paper that's coming in from mail, bills, things like that usually is going to get moved to another area. But instead of letting it take over the entire countertop, you want to put it into a container and keep it there until you can actually deal with it correctly. And even more importantly, try to toss as much as you can before you put it in there if you have time. If you have a few seconds, go through the mail. If you have a few seconds, go through the homework that you don't need to keep. Toss it immediately. But then put the rest into the container for now. Just because this will actually give you a lot more free space, and it's less energy that you're using to when you look around your kitchen. All that clutter just seeps energy out of your body because it just says to you, hey, I gotta do this. I have to tackle this. I have to do that. So make sure that you're keeping all that extra paper in a container. And here's the thing. And don't worry about the paper. We will come up with a true paper management system another week, but right now this is good. The next thing I want you to do is look at where you're keeping paper other than the countertop. So maybe you have paper all over the refrigerator. And I know a lot of people use the refrigerator because it's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind. They're afraid that if they put the paper away, they'll forget that there's a school event coming up, or will forget that the kids have a homework assignment, and that's fine. And once in a while, like on our refrigerator, I will post the kids' chore list because I want them to see it every day and they open that refrigerator door. So that's a good reminder, right? But other than that, I don't keep any other paper on a refrigerator. And, I've seen all different types of things. I've seen magnet collections on refrigerators. I've seen photos. I've seen the paper reminder. But here's the thing. I usually notice that most people forget about the stuff they put on the refrigerator. So they put it on there, to remind them of something, or they want to see, a photo, but then it just stays there. They don't update it. They don't take things down, and it just kind of becomes a collector of stuff on the refrigerator. And, whether you think so or not, when you walk into a kitchen that has stuff all over the refrigerator, it leads to a cluttered feeling. and it looks messy. So I would encourage you to take as much off the refrigerator as possible. And you're going to be saying, well, Jen, how am I going to remember these things that I have to do? Keep it maybe just to one side, or if you can put it on the side of the refrigerator rather than the front is really helpful, or at least limit to one section of the front door instead of the entire thing. And what I have found to be a really useful replacement for this is we actually, and I've done this with other people too, but in our kitchen, we glued a piece of sheet metal to the inside of a cupboard door. And you could even do it on the inside of a pantry door, whatever, a broom closet, as much as you need. And it's super cheap. You just cut it to size, glue it on, and then that becomes a magnetic surface to keep all of your paper and things that you would normally keep on your refrigerator. It works great. I will send it. I will, in the Facebook group, which we will remind you at the end of this, but in the Facebook group, Organize Now Challenge, I will post a picture or a video of ours just to show you. And I apologize for my throat. My throat is like really iffy this morning. So that refrigerator, then look around. Oh, and I just want to point this out too. If you can't do the sheet metal, another good alternative is a bulletin board. So a small bulletin board or whatever you need. It really doesn't matter, but at least it looks better and it's more contained in the refrigerator. So once you've looked around so you've cleared the countertops of anything that doesn't require or isn't useful for cooking, baking, things like that. You've collected all the paper. You've removed any appliance that isn't used more than twice a week. And you've cleaned off the refrigerator. Look around to the rest of the kitchen. Maybe you have paper taped to the outside of your cupboards. Maybe you have it on the walls. But just really look at and ask yourself, what kind of looks cluttered? And you know what? Sometimes it's really helpful to just have somebody come in and look for you, because when it's our own home, we get really used to seeing things, and sometimes we can't even see it clearly. Sometimes people just forget what is even around until you take a minute, stop in your busy life, and just look at it all and take it all in. So maybe you want to ask a friend to help you with this part, but I want you to look at all of the walls and the decor in your kitchen that people see, and really walk around and ask yourself, do I really love this still? Is this still something that I enjoy looking at? And if the answer is no, that's a sign to remove it. And maybe there's something hanging on the wall and you think, okay, I don't love that anymore, but I don't have anything to replace it. That's okay. You can still remove it. Empty space is okay. Not every little corner and nook and cranny of your home has to be decorated, but it's better to have something that you really love and admire and appreciate than just something up taking space just because there's a nail in the wall. So go ahead and remove it. If you don't love it, you can replace it later. It's okay. Remember, we're going to get you comfortable with clean, simple spaces, because this isn't all about just, having the perfect kitchen. That's not what we're going for right now. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to walk into your kitchen, feel a sense of calmness, be motivated to, cook a nutritious meal, or sit down and have a cup of coffee with your best friend, or help your kids with homework. That's what I want you to feel. I want you to not walk into the kitchen and just be embarrassed or just let out, a sigh of, oh my God, this is so, you're not even happy to be home. You're not even happy to be in your kitchen. Life's too short. It's not worth it. So I want you to be happy in your kitchen. I want you to be productive in your kitchen. I want you to feel inspired in your kitchen. I want you to even think about what your dream kitchen looks like. And even though you may not be able to have it exactly like you picture it in your mind, you can get it close. So for example, maybe your dream kitchen has granite countertops. Okay, but why not still keep the countertops you have currently clean, simplified, and organized? Because when you get those granite countertops, I guarantee you, your life and your habits are the same, so nothing's going to change. So live the way you would in your dream kitchen now. Appreciate what you have now, and I guarantee it will change your life. So after you've done all this, and hopefully your kitchen is, and you may have to put me on pause a few times during these challenges if actually doing it while I'm talking, or you can replay it later. I want you to always stop, look back, and see how you feel. Because what I find happens a lot when people work on a space of getting organized, they always self-sabotage themselves. They will look, I'll say, okay, now let's step back, like I'm doing with you now. Let's step back and look at the kitchen and tell me how you feel. And I'm really asking you to do that right now, by the way. So comment below or send me an email. I really want to know how you feel if you've done this, correctly. But I want you to take a few minutes and just really take it all in on how you feel, because that positive feeling that you now have replaced the negative feeling with, I want you to feel more of that every week in your life when we do this. I want you to see the reason why you're doing this. And over time, as your life slowly changes, you're going to see huge things happen in your life that you don't even realize now. Because when we take control of what we have, we actually automatically create more good things in our life. So now that, this is just one example, maybe now that you're not embarrassed by your kitchen, you'll invite that neighbor next door to come over for a cup of tea that you've been wanting to talk to, that you know is going through a rough time. Because now you can do it. Now you don't feel embarrassed. Now you don't feel like you dread anybody sitting down at that countertop. But what I don't want you to do is self-sabotage yourself by saying, okay, that looks great, Jen, but now look at the inside of the refrigerator, or now look at the pantry. That just looks like a disaster. I don't want you to go there. I want you to be okay with the fact that you're going to get those spaces done. I'm telling you, you will get those spaces done. These challenges eventually are going to cover all different areas of your life. So be okay with that. Know that you're actually taking control and doing something instead of just complaining that your life and your home isn't organized. You're actually taking steps. It's very, very similar to exercising. Doing something is better than nothing. So you don't want to tell yourself, okay, if I don't exercise for an hour, it's not worth it. If I don't have 2 hours to organize, it's not worth it. Even 29 minutes is worth it, girls or guys. Hopefully we have some guys listening. But I think that even 29 minutes a week toward organizing can get a lot done. And sometimes that's all we have, so it's okay. So I want you to, when you take a step back and you're appreciating your work, do me a favor, snap a pic, send it to me, put it on the comments in the podcast, or more importantly, join our Facebook group. It's called Organize Now Challenge. You can request to be added, and basically it's going to be a community of people that are just like you that want to get more organized. And I want you to share your pictures there. I want you to encourage each other. I talked yesterday on the Facebook group about an accountability partner. That's somebody that you can either do this challenge with, or you can be accountable to that person. You can show pictures. You can invite them over to see your progress. They can encourage you. You can call them when you're tired and you don't feel like doing it, but they're going to help you get there. And we in the group, including myself, we want to help you get there too. So go to the group, join that today. You can also make sure that you go to the29minutemom.com for all future podcasts. And we're also on Facebook, the 29 Minute Mom. That is another place where I will be posting these podcasts. And we are on iTunes. Do me a favor, please. If you know somebody that could use a little bit more organization in their life, go ahead and share this information with them. Just click the link and share it. We want as many people as possible to get organized this year. I don't want people to waste their time on this earth, because they're so worried about the clutter and they're so busy moving it around, shuffling it, cleaning it, sorting it. I want you to tackle it once and for all. And of course, like I always say, there's plenty of maintenance afterwards, but I really want you to dive in and do this year. Because I want to hear the success stories at the end of the year. I want to hear how this has changed your life. And I can tell you, it will happen. So great job today. You have now completed the first week in the Organize Now Challenge. This was an easy one. This one was an easy one. Some weeks aren't going to be this easy, but that's okay, because with baby steps, you will get there. Next week, we're going to jump into the kitchen cupboards, which is a little bit more complicated, a little bit messier, and we will do it together. So don't worry. I'm here to help you. I am so excited that you're here with me, and thank you for coming on to the 29 Minute Mom podcast with me today. And, we always know here at the 29 Minute Mom that every single minute counts, and we want to help you get the most out of your day. So thank you for joining me, and we'll be back soon.